Good morning, everyone. For Telesur, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. We start off here in Venezuela, where federal intelligence agents have arrested opposition leader and Caracas Mayor Antonio Ledesma. The arrest comes after the public prosecutor ordered the arrest following Ledesma's alleged participation in the recently thwarted coup against President Nicolas Maduro. Ledesma has also been denounced on a number of occasions for various crimes. Ledesma was allegedly involved in the Caracas massacre of 1989, the murder of 200 prisoners in 1992, and 1 week ago he signed a national transition agreement as part of the activation of the coup plan. West now to Colombia, where the recently submitted National Development Plan has been widely criticized, especially among peace process supporters. Our correspondent Natalia Margarita with more now on those criticisms.
Peace advocates and political leaders gathered in a public hearing on Thursday to discuss the next four-year policy framework, which has been presented in the latest National Development Plan submitted by the Colombian government. The document has drawn wide criticism as it does not appear to be coherent with the historic moment the country is facing.
The budget for defense and security is going to be 3 times higher than the one for education and 6.5 times higher than the one for health. Also, it's a plan where peace is meant to be implemented by business people. Rural development is conceived as large-scale mining and agribusiness, and major infrastructure projects are carried out. Everything without taking into account social actors that are crucial for peace.
As the plan is entitled Peace, Equality and Education, paradoxically it seems to be reproducing the same model that for decades have driven the country into deep inequalities.
This development plan reflects this government's schizophrenic model. Peace is supposed to be central to this plan, but then the way rights such as access to health, education, employment, even access to culture are meant to be implemented, they continue to come under the umbrella of the neoliberal model.
Access to land has historically been at the center of Colombia's struggles. Now, it seems like victims struggling for land restitution will have to wait to see if their lands happen to be considered by the government as strategic for big-scale mining and energy projects, as well as agribusiness.
Those lands would not be available for restitution. Instead, the victims will be economically compensated, which I believe will worsen the damage, as the biggest hope for a victim that has been displaced from their land is in fact to be able to return, to be able to work the land. The victim is not expecting money as a solution to the situation.
As the government has also increased the national budget for security and defense, peace supporters as well as victims continue to demand that the decisions taken in Colombia remain coherent with what is being discussed in Havana as the peace process advances. From Bogotá, Natalia Margarita, Telesur.
The demand for truth and justice in the Ayotzinapa case continues throughout Mexico, while the families and supporters of the missing students tirelessly call for support. As our correspondent Clayton Kahn reports, families of Mexico's other disappeared also are calling for support.
With 1 week till the date marking 5 months since the 43 Ayotzinapa students were disappeared by police in Guerrero, families of the students and social organizations here in Mexico City say the case is not forgotten with time and continue to demand justice.
Hopefully, God willing, you will not be indifferent and this won't happen to you, where one day they come to your home and disappear your family members.
However, many of the students here organizing this rally do admit that the widespread participation in the movement for Ayotzinapa has dropped in recent weeks. They blame the reduction on the government's strategy of declaring the investigation closed, as well as a smear campaign against activists.
I think we're going through a complicated time, even for those of us who are organized, because we're coming out of a period of vacations and now we're confronting a wave of declarations from a government smear campaign.
Yet some families of Mexico's other 23,000 disappeared say that they seek to move beyond marches and government reforms so as to find their loved ones.
We see there is a lack of attention towards those families of the disappeared. It is only a topic that people take advantage of politically, so we have decided to work alongside the families and work together.
For Maria Herrera, who for the past 8 years has been searching for 4 of her missing sons, the emotional loss families of the victims feel needs to be converted into a tool for change.
This pain, this uncertainty that we carry inside us, we would like it to serve for something, for society.
Meanwhile, the families of the 43 students say they will continue the search for international support and intervention, hoping that the external pressure will push Mexico's authorities in delivering truth and justice in the case. Clayton Khan, Telesur, Mexico City.
After almost 14 years of almost no criminal investigations in Honduras, authorities have announced improvements to the national justice system. For more details on their plans, we go to our correspondent now, Gerardo Torres.
According to official numbers, in Honduras there is an impunity of at least 96% in homicides, although there's proven corruption in some police agency and almost a complete inefficiency in the court system. The lack of criminal investigation is probably the main reason for impunity. Now, after almost 15 years, Honduras will have once again a crime investigation agency with the recently announced Technical Crime Investigation Agency, ATIC.
They are civilians, not police. They received 3 months training in crime scene analysis. The first ATIC graduates are 95 agents in San Pedro Sula and Tequitgalpa, divided between homicides, sexual felonies, and the fight against drug trafficking.
Ivania Galeano is a lawyer that works with women's organizations and has been demanding an end to impunity in the murder of women. She, like other lawyers, has hopes in this new agency.
There is hope because we have had a deficient or almost non-existent criminal investigation policy. The government decided in the late 1990s to separate the investigation team of the public prosecutor and pass it over to the security minister, and we have seen impunity rates grow consistently since.
The agency is still very small and it accepts that it doesn't have the capacity to investigate all cases. Currently, they are focusing on high-profile cases, and in June they will have 150 new agents. This development is the first international recommendation adopted by the Honduran government after numerous reports and recommendations over the last 5 years of how to improve the security problem in the country. Gerardo Torres, Telesur, Central America.
And taking a look around the world now, we go to France, where the government there has survived a no-confidence vote. Opposition conservatives called the vote yesterday after the government used a controversial decree to bypass opposition to an economic bill. The bill would have deregulated some sectors. 234 legislators voted in favor of the motion, short of the 289 needed for an absolute majority. A no-confidence vote has only succeeded once in France's 57-year-old Fifth Republic. That was in 1962 when it was used to oust the government of Georges Pompidou. In Greece, Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras welcomed more Chinese investment yesterday, saying Greece could be a significant commercial gateway for China into Europe. He adds that Greece wants to strengthen China's existing investments, seeing them as a benefit to the Greek people. Tsipras gave the Chinese officials a replica of a sword of the ancient warrior Alexander the Great, a symbol of finding a way around problems. At Essence Magazine's annual Black Women in Hollywood luncheon, several attendees pointed out that all 20 actors nominated in the 4 Oscars categories are white. Musician John Legend says the choices reflect the power structure in Hollywood. A 2012 investigation by the Los Angeles Times showed membership was 94% white and 77% male, with a median age of 62 of the Academy Awards of Motion Pictures. It runs the annual Academy Awards known as the Oscars. It has over 6,100 members who are all selected for the quality of their work and recommendations by existing members.
You know, it really isn't about diversity, it isn't about representation, it isn't about inclusion, it's about reality. It's about living in the real world. And the real world is not made up of just one type of person, one type of gaze, one type of storyteller. So if you want to be grounded in reality, you should open your eyes to all of the array of what's around you. And that means different kinds of people, different kinds of voices.
That's where we ended today. More on those stories and others at our websites. Check it out, telesurtv.net/English. For Telesur English, I'm Cody Weddle. Have a great Friday.